This is just to make sure, because now if this house change the name from Kenya Revenue Authority to Kenya Revenue Service, that's a different body. So we must insulate the current Commissioner General and the current board in a transition way that the change of name does not affect their current status. So they will be in office until the expiry of time. That is a very fair, I think, the very fair amendment, and I think I want to protect from any further litigation by the busybodies that are always around the streets of Nairobi. That, you know, the current Commissioner General was recruited as Kenya Revenue Authority. Though, so that we are changing to Kenya Revenue Service, we must protect the holders of those offices. I beg to move and ask maybe Honorable Chair of Budget to support.
I propose the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Duale. The first go will be the leader of majority.
Yes. Honorable Chair, well, I agree with the need for protection. I had already provided for that in the bill. The current clause 5 basically protects any person who held office as a member of the board or as an officer or member of the staff of the authority immediately before the commencement of this section shall continue to hold office as if that person had been appointed under this act. So every job is already saved. And also, we went further to provide for all the obligations of clause 4, that subject to this act, all the rights, duties, obligations, assets, and liabilities at the commencement of this section shall be transferred to the service. So the change of name does not affect all the ongoing obligations. It does not affect the contracts. They will continue as if they were entered under this, because all we are doing is changing the name from authority to service. But all the ongoing obligations, including contracts with contractors and tenderers, continue as if they were contracted with authority being called a service. That is the essence of the transitional clause that we put. So, but what the Honorable Duale is saying is actually limiting for Commissioner General and the board or commissioners that those ones will be the only ones who continue for the unexpired. Now, this has obviously then got the issue of a contradiction for other members of staff who are on a certain contract. What happens to them, right? No, because we are talking of member of the board or commissioner general. If you specify this and you don't put the same thing for the unexpired for everyone else, then you are getting some two different things. So Honorable Chair, I would urge that we, and you can guide us on this from your legal, that if it's already provided for, there's no additional value to be created by then further specifying these three officers. The Commissioner General, the board is already provided for. Commissioner General and commissioners are members of the staff of the authority. So they're already provided for, they're already saved, and I don't see what value we'll be getting. It's just a superfluous amendment, but that could also attract some litigation, especially since this is not been subjected to any public participation. The bill has only been subjected to public participation with respect to the change of name. Now, change of officers and everything else has not been subjected to public participation. And we could well have this thing being brought in litigation starting, that we are changing the terms of Commissioner General, we are limiting it only to a term. We are now saying he's probably not eligible to start. We are then going further to even redesignate the way they will be appointed, which is not part of the original bill. And that has not been subjected to any public participation. We don't know what the public would have said about it. And hence, I would urge that we we limit ourselves to the substance of the bill and not expand its scope to beyond what the bill was intended, which was to change the name from Revenue Authority to Revenue Service. Honorable Speaker, I beg to oppose this amendment.
The Honorable Martin Owino, member for Ndio.
Chair, thank you. I think the concern of Honorable Dole is taken care of, because when you go to specificity of who to remain and who to go, then you will be kind of drafting another bill. So instead of voting no, Honorable Duale, I think the majority has really explained. If you could withdraw, make it easy for us to move on. Thank you.
The Honorable Okello.
I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Basically, I do not see big variance in these two arguments between the leader of majority emeritus and the current leader of majority. But again, it cures a real malady, Honorable Speaker. Number one, we are transiting from service to, from KRA to Kenya Revenue Services. And if we do not, with certainty, decipher those two issues, then it may be assumed, firstly, that you have commissioners beginning a new term under a new service. So I think this needs to be specified categorically, that it is a continuation of what has been in place, awaiting their exit, because basically they will exit at the end of the day. But again, it helps protect the institutional memory of KRA transiting into services, Honorable Speaker. So I only wish that the two majority leaders would sit together and come up with a concurrence. If it is a matter of semantics, let us sit down and put them in good shape. Otherwise, I support both, Honorable Speaker.
Bayaya, the Honorable Bayaya.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving this opportunity. My question is on the process. If the Honorable Duale raised an amendment and proposed, and there has not been any secondment, would it be right for this matter to move forward? Because he asked the chair budget to second, and he